Life's best moments are best captured by photography and video. You may ask, why photography and video? Because if a photo is worth 1,000 words, video is worth 1,000,000. And GPS photography and video will leave you speechless. GPS specializes in weddings, sports, fitness, and so much more. Book your next shoot today at 910-257-0526 or gpsphotoandvideo.com.
Welcome to the Amazon's podcast. I'm Glenn Young, owner of Amazon's fitness magazine. Celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to amazonsfitmag.com. The podcast is brought to you by Maximus Posing Suits. Celebrate your inner warrior. Custom competition suits for victory on every stage. And bronze level sponsor, Murder Weight Apparel. You're not just wearing a clothing brand, you're wearing a mindset. Murderweight.com. And, of course, GPS photography and video. Why photography and video? Because if a photo's worth 1,000 words, video's worth 1,000,000. GPSPhotoandvideo.com. My guest is an IFBB Women's Physique Pro. She's just off the stage doing the Optimum Classic and the Omaha Pro. Please welcome IFBB Women's Physique Pro, Hayley Perry.
Hello.
Hey.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate you coming on. So we got a lot to get to because you do a lot.
Yeah.
You are a nurse practitioner, business owner, which I love. 2 businesses, not just one. Your husband's also a classic physique pro. So start at the beginning and tell me about all this, and we'll just play it from there.
Oh, gosh. I mean, how far back you want to go?
Well, I mean, talk to me. You got your pro card, or you started competing or coming into bodybuilding in 2014, and then you got your pro card in 2021, right?
Yes.
Okay, so just bring me up from there.
So, yeah, 2014 was my first year competing. Prior to that, I'd always been active, played sports in middle school, high school, really loved fitness. Just prior to entering bodybuilding, I was actually a marathon runner. So I kind of morphed into the weight training, and I really fell in love with that. And then as I started, spending more time in the gym and really enjoying that, I kind of came across social media, mainly Dana Lynn Bailey. She was really big around then. And she was a big inspiration to me. So, and that's kind of how I came across competing. And I thought, that sounds like something I'd like to do. I've always been kind of a very intrinsically motivated person. I like goals to work towards. And so I thought I'd try that. And I did my very first show. I did bikini.
It always starts with bikini, it seems like.
I know. I was unwillingly too at the time. I actually wanted to start in figure, but my coach at the time was just like, nah, let's try bikini first. You're a little smaller. And so anyway, started in bikini, then I moved up to figure. And then as I, started growing and developing and just, learning through the training, just the way I train, I love to train hard and heavy. My husband and I started as training partners back in 2014. And so we were always getting at it in the gym. And my body just wanted to continue to grow.
Okay. How'd you meet your husband?
In the gym.
Okay.
He approved
was a great place for it.
Yep. And that's how we started. We started as training partners. So, and that's kind of how we both share that passion of fitness. And so that's one thing that we really love to preach to other couples too, because I really do feel like if you have a supportive partner, a partner that has, goals that align with yours, it makes all the difference in the world. It really does.
It really does, because in both you competing as well. Have y'all ever been in prep at the same time?
Yeah, we're actually both in prep right now.
Okay, great.
We actually
That's
prefer
good
it that
stuff.
way. Yeah,
Okay,
I
really?
mean,
Okay.
yeah, we really thrive when we're both in it together. We've heard from other people and other couples, they're like, "Really? Like, I don't know how you do it," but we've we've done, one person in prep and the other not. I don't like that. Like
Yeah.
all last year, I was off in a growing off season type phase, and he was in prep for pretty much the whole year, and it was just it was hard. We prefer to do it together. We push each other. We work off each other's energy, and I think it just works for us.
That's great. Yeah, I saw some of your
Yeah.
videos on your Instagram. Y'all got a great bond, great chemistry working together. So yeah, you got to go with what works and what best supports you.
Yeah, yeah. We're very blessed for sure. I'm very blessed to have a supportive partner. I mean, he's always been there for me. He's always been my number one fan, my number one supporter, and that really, I mean, it's invaluable. It really is.
So you did the Optimum Classic and you did the Omaha Pro. What's the feedback been like? And you already said you're both in prep now. So what show are you getting ready for?
So, in terms of feedback, mainly just conditioning, come in a little bit tighter, mainly in my glutes and my hams, and then a little bit more density and size, mainly in my upper body. We
Mm-hmm.
kind of already knew. Um, that's something that I've continually tried to work on. So we will continue to get better at it. And I have to remind myself too that I'm only 34. So
Yeah,
in the world of women's bodybuilding and women's physique, especially at the pro level, that's actually not
that's
that
young.
old. The
No,
the more
no,
the
not at
more
all.
girls I compete against, the more I'm finding like some of these girls I'm competing against have been doing this for 20 plus years, and
Yes.
over twice as long as I have.
Right.
So there's no way around that muscle maturity that you just need time to get. And I
Right.
understand that. So
So you essentially did your pro debut this year?
no, my pro debut was in 2022 Arizona Pro.
Okay. Arizona Pro. Okay. Yeah, I saw that
Yep.
on your bio.
Hmm.
So that seems to be the buzzword this year: conditioning, come in
Yes.
tighter. And at times, I guess it can be discouraging, but,
Yeah.
you just got to keep pushing through. So now, what
Yeah.
show are y'all both getting ready for now?
We are looking at Chicago in, I think
Okay.
it's about 4.5 weeks.
Yep. You got the Atlanta Pro and then Chicago. I think we want to say it's 18, 19 July. So,
Yes. I know. And I debated, I went back and forth between, because I really wanted to do Atlanta too.
hmm
One, because timing wise it worked out. And two, I am the biggest fan of Linda Murray. I absolutely love her. I think she is like the
yes.
epitome of bodybuilding. So I would love the chance to do her show. But I think just logistically, we're super close to Chicago. It's only like a 4.5 hour drive.
hmm
I know Marcus is probably going to be more ready for that one. So we'll probably shoot for that one. I think it'll
Yeah.
be better for us.
And you're in Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
I got a lot of family up there, so yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. You went to
Yep.
school at the Ohio State University.
Yes, I did.
It's funny because I have a niece that went there, but her brother and a lot of her family are Michigan fans, and so
Oh.
that's sort of. And she had a sister that went to Cincinnati, so I love messing with them every year. Ohio State versus Michigan. So you can imagine my nephew was talking a lot of noise after Michigan
Oh
won because I
yeah.
really wanted Alabama to beat them. But anyway,
Like
such
those
is life.
conversations get heated. They People get into it.
So, oh yeah, yeah, it gets there. But I love poking back and forth between them and watch them both fight. So it's funny to me. So
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's only a game. So
Exactly.
so as an alum, you get free tickets, or how does that work for you? Or do you even
I wish.
still go out to the game?
You know what? I've actually never been to an Ohio State game.
You're killing me.
Never.
You went to school there, but never went to a game.
Never.
And I can understand it because you were in nursing and nurse practitioner now. So yeah, I can imagine. Better to study than to be that one semester
I
wonder. So
mean,
I get that.
yeah,
But it's the
I would. I
horseshoe.
definitely.
I mean, come on.
No. Maybe one of these days. One of these days, I'll
Yeah.
make it happen. I've never been a huge football fan. It's one of those where if it's on, I'll watch it, but
Hmm.
it's just never really been my gig.
I got you. Not your jam, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
And you were a marathoner, so yeah. So there you go. So now, did your
Yeah.
husband do the Optimum Classic in Omaha Pro as well, or so you say you both were in prep together? So
No, he decided to hold out until Chicago, which
okay,
I mean, Omaha, they didn't have Classic, so he couldn't do that one anyway.
Mm, yeah,
I didn't realize that Optimum had Classic. If we had thought about that ahead of time, we probably would have had him start prep a little earlier and just get ready for
right,
that one. But he didn't start early enough, so he's shooting for Chicago. I'm sure he'll nail that one.
yeah. Now, who's your coach? Do you both have the same coach?
No, so my coach is Derek Natcher. He's based out of
I've heard of
Florida.
him. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, he's a great guy. He coached me through my pro card win, and then ever since. So going on 3 years, I think now.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Good stuff. Now, who's your husband's coach?
So it's kind of a team effort between myself and him. We
Okay.
kind of I handle a lot of his like diet nutrition stuff. He's
Yes.
very, very good when it comes to training. I mean, we train together and we kind of work off of each other and give each other suggestions if we see or notice things. But he actually really helps me a lot with my training. Although he would probably say the same. We kind of work off each other, but it's really it's been a team effort
Right.
with him. Yeah.
So that's good. Like I said, that's great chemistry. You got each other there to push each other, as you said. But now you
Mhm.
also own two businesses. One in
Yes.
fitness is HP Fit Lifestyle, and then you
Mhm.
started your own spices business. Talk
Yes.
to me about that. Are you a LLC? How did you get into all that? How does that work?
Yeah, they're both LLCs. Honestly, we didn't the coaching business. I mean, I had coached kind of very minimally for a few years, but never
Mhm.
really took it seriously. I just took on maybe a handful of clients, mainly local, if they were interested and wanted to get ready for a show or something like that. Um, but it wasn't really until last year where my husband and I kind of sat down and talked more about it, and
Mhm.
we really kind of wanted to grow it in a way that we could help more people, and as we've gained more knowledge and experience through our bodybuilding journeys, we just wanted to share that with more people. So we kind of finally made the jump um, to make our own coaching business. So we created an LLC, created
Mhm.
a website and everything. Which honestly, that was
Beautiful,
probably the
beautiful.
most time consuming thing. Was just
Oh
creating
yeah,
a
it is. Trust me, I know.
website. I know you know.
Mhm.
So, but once we got that, it's been a lot smoother. We're still a constant growing, learning, process. So we're learning as we go, what works better than other things, and we learn to kind of make some adjustments, which is like with anything, you're constantly
Mhm.
evolving.
Yeah.
So started out with the coaching business, and then we'd been talking about creating our own seasonings for quite some time.
Mhm.
Actually, it we were talking about that last year, but What took us the longest time was just finding a relationship with, or building a relationship with, a spice and seasoning distributor,
There
because
you go.
that probably took us like 8 months just to find
Yeah.
someone that would return our
Yeah.
calls.
Distribution channels is, ooh, yeah.
Oh my, yeah.
That's
We
huge.
contacted so many people, called people, emailed. We didn't get any response, and then finally, we got a response from a company, and it actually worked out perfectly because the company, once we started talking to them, we found out that their goals really aligned with our goals. So they're very, they feel very
Hmm.
strongly about using natural ingredients, no preservatives, no MSG, no fillers,
Yep.
and that was the biggest reason why we wanted to create our own seasoning company, because we found a lot of seasonings that we were using had a lot of like anti-caking agents, a lot of
Hmm.
MSG, a lot of that we don't really like want or need in our bodies, and they
Right.
can wreak a lot of havoc, in the long run. And from a bodybuilding perspective too, we were thinking like, hey, are some of these seasonings affecting our digestion? Are they maybe affecting
Yes.
water retention? From a physique standpoint, too, we wanted to create something that would allow like prep competitors to still eat good and enjoy their food and enjoy their prep,
Hmm.
but not have to worry about that other stuff.
Got you. And
Mhm.
so, our distribution channels, are you in stores? Can you order it on Amazon? How do people get it?
We are working on it. Right now, you can get it from our website, perryspices.com.
Okay.
Hopefully, in the near future, we're working on trying to get it sold on like Amazon, and then eventually we'd like to get them in
Yeah.
stores and stuff like that. We're working on like
Good stuff.
wholesale as well. So just certain supplement companies and other businesses have already reached out to us and want to carry
Hmm.
spices in their stores. So we're really excited about that, and getting ready to do more things with it for sure. And we're actually dropping two new seasonings in the next couple of weeks. It's a
Anything you
sugar-free
can
apple
say?
spice, yes, and a backyard barbecue rub. That one's
Nice,
gonna be
because it's the
fire.
height of the season. Good
Hmm.
stuff. And most of your
Yeah,
stuff you
we're
say is sugar free.
yes. So, well, we do
Okay.
have one. It's the sweet charm. That's like our sweet seasoning. That
Hmm.
one is made with real sugar cane. So not sugar
Okay.
free, but it is all natural, real sugar cane. It's not like artificial sweeteners, not the sucralose, all that stuff that can cause a lot of like bloating, GI distress, things like that. So that one is
That's
not
great.
necessarily pretty, but it is very, very good.
And then, of course, you bring a medical background as long as the dietary and nutrition prep as well. So this is
Yes.
good. So
Yes.
probably gonna have vendor booths in the future. You gonna do a vendor booth at the Arnold's? Maybe you got to think big.
Love to. Yeah. And definitely have that in the future sites for sure.
Well, I'm excited. That is really
Thank
great.
you.
So I'll definitely look
Yeah,
out there
thank
on your
you.
website and order some and sample it. I would Nina Beans or Nina Amperful. She's a women's bodybuilder, and she has
Yeah.
her thing of nuts.com, and she does everything with different nuts and flavors and stuff. So it's actually pretty good. So
Oh, really?
I love the
Oh, I'm
entrepreneurs,
gonna
and I
check it
taught
out.
that for a semester in high school. So yeah, because I'm a high school
Did
teacher.
you
So
really?
yeah, that's great. Yep. He had to teach all those
Oh,
kids
that's
about the lean canvas business model. So they came up with some
okay.
good
You
stuff. So oh yeah, and then having of course my own business. So yeah, but now I teach Adobe Visual Design 1 and 2, which is Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, and then we'll move on to video too. So pretty good.
That's
But I'm
awesome.
glad to be out for the summer. Yeah. Woo. So we will go back August 12th. So,
Okay.
but this is great, because an entrepreneurial spirit is most of your clients lifestyle clients, or you looking at doing competition mostly, or you're just open to any?
We have a good mix of both. I'd probably say maybe 60% lifestyle, 40% prep clients. So I like to have a good mix.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Y'all are on it. So looking for big things in the future with that. All right. So
Absolutely.
you've done 2 shows. You're gonna do a third. Do you have
Mhm.
a pitch count to where okay, at some point, I'm gonna shut it down because it may not happen this year as far as the Olympia qualification, or keep pushing through.
No, I think I've already told myself I'll give myself this one more shot, and then after that, I will most likely shut it down.
Okay.
So
Are you eyeing Texas at all? Because I mean, Sarah Villegas is putting up money, big bucks.
I would love to do that show. I think just personally, I have a bit more growth development I need to do before,
Yeah.
because if I do that, I'm the kind of person when I do a show, like I want to do well. And obviously
Yeah.
that show has some very, very stiff competition,
You'll have the
understandably
big
so.
dogs.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
And
yeah.
typically, that's
And
what's going to be going on with the prize money. If the prize money keeps going up, it's only going to be even better and bring out better
yeah,
competitors, more competitors, which has been the key with women's physique this year. So
yes,
that's a
yeah.
good thing.
Yeah, that's how it should be, honestly.
Definitely. So now, when you look at next year, long term, what's the first show that you're eyeing out there? You're like, I might jump into this one next year. Do you like doing shows closer to home?
Honestly, I love traveling. So any
Okay.
excuse for me to travel and go somewhere that I've never been, I'm all about. So, but with competing, a lot of it is really based on timing in terms
Mm-hmm.
of like, okay, when did I last compete? How much time am I going to have off? Or how much time do I need to take off in order to
Yeah.
improve the areas that I need to improve and make the changes that I need to make? So I honestly haven't even thought about next year really, but I've just given the timeline of probably where I'll be ending prep this year. I would imagine I probably won't step on stage again until like later next year.
Okay.
Um, so and this is just I'm just totally speaking out of I don't know if this is actually going to happen, but I loved Arizona Pro when I did it in
Mm,
2022. I absolutely loved that show. So I could see doing that show again. That's usually around like August, September.
yeah.
So that's me.
Yeah. Right there with the Rising Phoenix, the Arizona Pro is coming up here in August. So that's
Hmm.
good stuff. Now, how does your husband pick his shows? Or y'all pretty much same mindset?
No, he's a little different. I think.
Hmm.
Well, he just went into this year because he did Chicago Pro last year and he won that show. So
Right.
I think he just, he obviously had a great experience at that show, and he just thought, oh, let's do that one again. Um, so other than that, I don't know if he really put a whole lot of thought process into it, to
Well,
be
that
honest.
qualified him for the Olympia. So, what was his thoughts
Right,
on that
right.
after winning the Chicago Pro?
Um, I mean, he was very excited.
Mm,
I mean, even if you talk to him about it though, that prep, he nailed his prep for Chicago, and then the in between Chicago and Olympia was definitely more of a struggle for him. I
hmm.
think he's so like his physique is so tremendous, but he, like a lot of us, um, his his worst enemy is himself, and he has a tendency to self-sabotage.
Mm,
So I know he can come in better than what he
yeah.
did at this past Olympia, and he knows that too.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of him, putting his mind to where he wants to go, because he can do anything he wants to do. It's just a matter of when he decides he doesn't want to do it, he's not going to do it. He's just that type.
Mm. But that's great though. And you got to go back to Chicago to defend his title. So I mean,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
big deal. That's really great. And so
yeah.
now, ideally, both of you got to end up on that Olympia stage because that'll be a totally different prep as well. Be pretty cool I think as a fan to see that, that definitely would
Yeah.
be like a documentary backstory. Husband and wife
Oh, yeah.
going to the Olympia, competing on the Olympia stage. So yeah,
Yep. That's
definitely
our
want
goal.
to check you guys out. Keep following you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yep, and I'm definitely gonna get up to Columbus. I'll let you know, and we try to knock out this photo shoot as well. Hopefully
I
before
would
you get out
love
of
that.
prep and go on. So what do you now? And then the Olympiads coming up on 17 weeks out, almost 16. I mean, that's like a whole nother prep to plan too. So once you get that qualification, what was it like
Right.
last year going with him to the Olympia and planning and stepping on that stage? How was that process? Because it was in Orlando, so you
Yeah.
know different. I think I liked it in Orlando versus Vegas, but some people say Orlando's more family oriented versus Vegas.
Yeah.
Well, that's more the lifestyle and everything happens in Vegas, so I can get that too.
Yeah. It was definitely different. I think I prefer Vegas for the Olympia. That's just me.
Hmm.
But it was so fun. We had a great time. Um, you know, he looked great. I know it wasn't quite his best, and so
Hmm.
that was hard. I mean, from not only like a a wife perspective,
Oh
seeing
yes.
not being his best, but also from a coach perspective too. So
Hmm.
that's definitely hard sometimes to juggle that, um, those two hats. So it was certainly a stressful weekend, but it it's always so fulfilling seeing him on that Olympia stage, and it's also really motivating for me too because it
Yeah.
motivates me that more, that I want to be up there one day, and because I know I can do
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. So it's a really good motivation for me for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a great story, and hopefully all goes well. You get the Olympia qualification, and both of you are there because this is the 60th year, 60 years for the Olympia.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is really great and
yeah,
exciting. I guess the timing in the schedule, because traditionally I think the Olympia was always in Vegas, but it was always in September. And then with COVID and everything back and forth to Orlando, uh, December versus November. That's interesting when it messes with the prep timeline as well, because if it's in September. Well, it's a whole different ball game because a lot of people probably
right.
at this point will be shutting it down, not thinking that they would
Yep,
qualify, but you never
yep,
know.
right. And
Haley
it's
Perry.
I prefer it in September. I hope they move it back to
Okay.
September.
With the end of the
I would
summer
like that.
vibe, yeah. How is
Yeah.
support at your job? You being a nurse practitioner, how do you got two businesses, you got a husband as a competitor as well, both you in prep. How do you find balance between work schedule, being a nurse practitioner, and a competitor as well?
That's a good question because sometimes I wonder myself.
Hmm.
Um, it's and yeah, bless my husband because he deals with all those times where I get stressed and frazzled, and I put on a good face sometimes, but inside sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I've gotten a lot better at, I think, um, how should I say, saying no to people. Um,
Yeah.
it, I've realized, I don't have your I don't have a ton of free time, so I do have to be very mindful of how I spend it. So I do try to always at least make some time to, whether it's, a little bit of time at the evening, just set my phone away and try and be, present with my husband, maybe sit down
Right.
and watch something on TV or just sit and talk. Um, it's definitely hard with where we're at right now. Thing I do really look forward to, like the last few weeks of prep kind of get draining just from a sense that like I feel like I'm spread so thin. Um,
Yeah.
so, but there's no real way around that. I just try and mentally change my mindset, that this year specifically I really tried to focus on is just, staying more grateful for things, rather than thinking so much of the negative, like, oh gosh, I really didn't wish I didn't have to do this cardio after working all day,
Yep.
or do this, or oh, I still got to prep my meals, or oh crap, I got to, knock out some check-ins from clients, and it's like
Mm,
9:30 at night and I've already worked, and you know but in reality, like, I'm very, very fortunate that I have the job that I do, that people, come to me and respect my knowledge, my experience, to the point that, they value my coaching services. I'm very, very lucky to be an IFBB pro and compete as a pro. And there's people that would just wish to have that title. And so
yes.
it's really just a matter of, switching your mindset, switching your perspective sometimes, which isn't always easy, especially when you're, 2, 3, 4 weeks out from a show and you're super
Yes.
hungry and tired. And, but I try and make that switch. I've I've come I'm starting to become a little bit more cognizant of, when I find myself kind of getting those feelings of feeling a bit on edge, or, maybe I'm feeling a little bit more, maybe short, I guess I should say,
Hmm.
then, I try to recognize that now, whereas before I just would move through it and, you know, go on with the next thing. So I think it's helpful to, like, recognize those feelings, understand that it's okay to feel that way, but one, it's not beneficial to take that out on other people, for one,
No.
and two, it's not useful to dwell on those things, to dwell on the negative and to dwell on things we can't change or we can't control. So that's what's really helped me, I think, when I do get, very, or I start to feel overwhelmed. Um, I just try and take the good out of it and just realize that, this may be hard right now, but it's, it's making me a better person. It's some sort of, no matter how bad something is, because life, a lot of bad things happen in life, but there's always something good
Yes.
we can get out of it. S- Looking at
Definitely
that.
true.
Yeah.
What gym do you work out at?
We go back and forth. There's a couple gyms in town that we train at. One is Spark Society, and
Okay.
the other is the Armory. Two very, very
Okay.
good gyms in Columbus, Ohio. Yep.
Okay. Do you
They're good
know
for different.
yeah. Do you know Flex Barbell?
I don't think so.
That was one
Is it
area in
around
Columbus
Columbus?
I was gonna do a photo shoot. I forget where exactly it is. But I know it was
Hmm.
near the Arnold venue, wasn't that far away. But anyway, I'll
Okay.
figure that out. But yeah, I'll probably end up doing a gym shoot there at some point. Uh
Okay.
before I go back to school. So yeah, keep me informed. I definitely want to get that photo shoot in, and of course, promote you and promote your business. And then you
Absolutely.
want to get an ad in the magazine as well, because this is pretty exciting. Do you see
I,
yourself doing vendor booths though to
I
sell your
think so.
spots,
In the
like
in
the
the
smaller
future,
shows, the NPT shows?
yeah, yeah, I would love to. Honestly, we wanted to at Omaha because
Mm,
Jack and Ann, they offered that to the
yeah,
competitors. We just
free. Yeah, they did.
it was too short notice for us. We didn't have enough,
Yeah,
like, supplies. We didn't have, like, a table booth cover, and there's some
yeah.
things I think that we got to get still before we can do that. But for sure, in the future, I would love to do that.
And that would be sort of a tough balance too, because you're competing in the show and at the same time trying to have a vendor booth, or maybe like,
Yeah,
well, your husband could do the vendor booth if he's not competing. I can see how that could work, but then he wants to watch you on stage too. So, yeah,
great. Yep,
great stuff. Really appreciate you talking to me,
absolutely.
Haley
It was such
Perry.
a pleasure. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for having me.
Well, you have to come back on after the Chicago Pro, or maybe Friday. Like I said, we got to try to do this photo shoot. But yeah,
Yeah,
keep me abreast of it, and I'll be of what you're doing. I'll definitely be following you, and all the best. Really appreciate
all
you.
you. Absolutely. All the same to you. I thank you so much for bringing me on.
Not at all. Y'all have a great story. So this is good. We got to get it out there. A lot more
Thank you.
people, I'm sure, are going to be reaching out to you. to tell your story, because this is great. Anytime you can have two competitors or married couple that are both competitors, entrepreneurs, coaches, this is a great thing. So definitely are a power couple, I should say.
I'm lucky, that's for sure. I'm very blessed.
Appreciate you. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Coming up tomorrow, that was again Hayley Perry, IFBB Women's Physique Pro. She's getting ready for the Chicago Pro. Entrepreneur, nurse practitioner. So excited to talk to her, and we'll be talking to her again soon. Tomorrow, 4:30 p.m., Nadia Copasoto, who is just out of Spain, where she won, and she's met her Olympia qualification. So looking forward to talking to her. Very excited. Great show last weekend. So make sure that everyone tunes in. And as I always say, celebrate the female physique. Subscribe to AmazonsFitMag.com. And make sure that you guys continue to follow, like, and share. And the July issue is, I'm definitely working on it right now. We'll be out soon. So talk to you guys tomorrow, 4:30 p.m. Nadia Copasoto. So talk soon.